Go ahead with questions.
Eddie, you finished early. That means that you had everything fixed for you.
I wish I could say that. Yeah, we tried to beat the rain, and we got out early, which was good, because getting out on a Tuesday, especially, and having all the fields and being able to go through all your first down calls and normal down and distance, so that was really good for us to get out here. So it worked out well.
You mean the pass you gonna throw him first down? You talking about? I mean the first play.
You know that we run the ball. That has not changed.
Okay.
Mark talked a lot about the kind of emotions of the first game. What do you do as a coach to try to keep everybody in check?
I'm pretty. I try to be pretty even keel, and you hope that your offense, that their personality is based around, their coordinator, their head coach, and he and I are a lot different, and I don't get too high, I don't get too low, and because in the game there's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows, and you got to go to the next one. I can't worry about a bad play call, just like we talked to our players about. You can't worry about a bad play. We got to keep moving. So that's kind of how I approach it, and I'll get them ready. They got to understand. I told the running backs today after, I said, we're not playing the game today. You played well with a lot of energy today, but you're not playing it today, tomorrow, or the next day, and you've got to wait until Saturday, and then we'll let it go. So I think it is important that they keep their emotions in check, and they got to know when to let it go.
What are you seeing film-wise for Toledo that's kind of sticking out to you?
Good football team. Good. They're well coached. They do what they do. They're physical. They've got a good pass rusher. Their linebackers are downhill, and they're really good tacklers. Their corners, they'll get up. They're not afraid to press you. Safeties will challenge you. And it's a good football team. I think they do as good a job as anybody, in terms of coaching and getting their kids ready to play. Be a challenge.
Is Terry becoming the leader that you look for, and who are some of the other leaders on offense?
Yeah, I think that it's his offense. So this year it's a little bit different. There wasn't a quarterback controversy, so he knows when he's not right that the whole thing's not right, and he's got to get back quickly and recover. And I've seen him do that a little bit better this fall camp than last year. If he throws a bad ball or something bad happens, he'll come right back and get things going, and I see him saying stuff to the players, so that's a good thing. I think the whole offensive line, I think those guys are leaders. Lynn Bowden has been a really good leader for the receivers. So we've got a good nucleus in there, and they know what it takes on offense. It's all about executing. You got to have 11 guys doing the right thing all the time, and that's the biggest thing. And then stay away from, it's not going to be perfect. We're going to strive for perfection. No, we're not going to get there, but we just can't have the ups and downs where it's like this. It needs to be more here, throughout a game. If we can do that and stay efficient, we're going to be okay.
What have you seen Lynn impart to those younger guys in the room, from just being on the field, kind of embracing this opportunity to get out there for the first time and really try to do something on offense for the team?
The new guys or Lynn?
Yeah, what has Lynn kind of imparted to those guys? What do you?
Well, he talks to them about, hey, he got an opportunity when he got here early, and it's going to take hard work, and you got to do all the things right. And he's always talking about being consistent and running hard and playing hard, and that's how Benny got on the field. And it's really a simple formula. You got to know the offense, you got to understand it, but then you've got to be physically ready to play, and then do you have the maturity to play? And that's what kind of Benny had, and the guys that we've had that played early. That's kind of the characteristics that they've had.
You'll talk a lot about the differences between practice and a game. What do you think is the biggest difference for a guy who's stepping on the field for the first time?
Probably the biggest thing is the emotion and the distractions that you have. Here it's a little bit more, there's not people screaming and hooting and hollering, the music, and you talk about, we're always talking about being locked in and focused during a game. You can't simulate that all the time. When you get done with a series, everybody's got to be in the right spot, and they all know where they're supposed to be. And sometimes with young guys, you'll see them wandering, and you'll see them, and you got to reel them in and say, we're over here. You got to get the adjustments, and so that's probably the biggest thing, is just the atmosphere of game day, and then pulling it in. You can't come out in pregame and go crazy and scream, hoot and holler, and be all over the place. And that's an hour, 45 minutes. You do that, and you're going to be wore out. I've seen that happen before, and that's not a good thing.
How much do you think it helps having those guys, like Kavasi and Chris, who they have experienced that a little bit, even though they are freshmen?
Yeah, they do. They feel like veterans. You know, I got to be honest with you. The good part for us last year is we were able to travel them last year, and they were able to go to the hotels. They were able to get on that plane. So none of that's going to be different for those guys, and that's good. And you know, and they carry themselves so well out here. I mean, they carry themselves like veterans, and so it's a really good group in there in that running back room.
There was some discussion about your team being jacked up the first game and coming out really with high emotion and maybe leave something on the field the second half. And he alluded to the Southern Miss game.
Yeah.
How do you how do you prevent that?
Well, again, I think you go down.
Right.
You talk to them about not playing the game until Saturday, and you don't come out at pregame and lose your mind. You got to stay within yourself, and it's still football. It's still about tackling. It's still about leveraging the football. Coach talks about that all the time. They talked about offense. It's still about throwing and catching. It's still about blocking, and it's about fundamentals. And at the end of the day, that's what football is. Just do your job.
You direct that, but what player would you say would rein everybody back in if necessary?
I think Lynn would probably rein him in, and Logan Stenberg, Landon, guys like that. Terry even, if something like that happened. But I don't think that's going to happen with this group. I really don't. I think Coach has done a heck of a job in camp, and they've heard it, and I think they're ready to play again. I think they're ready to hit another opponent. This is the hard time of camp. You finish now, and things have changed, and you can feel the energy, from last week to this week, because camp broke, and now you're getting ready to play another opponent.
Is this a game where you anticipate, like you said, all three running backs and trying to get a lot of the receivers involved just to kind of see what you got as far as
I do, because number one, it's going to be hot. It's going to be a noon game, so it's supposed to be close to the 90s, and we've had a couple scrimmages that were close to the 90s, so that was good. And we did roll our guys in, and we feel like we've got a good group. For sure, the running backs, I think you'll see all three of them. I don't think there's a doubt there. If somebody gets a hot hand, we'll let them go, but I don't think there's any question there. And then those receivers, depending on how long the drives are and so forth, and how many times possessions that we have, you'd like to get some of those guys in there and see what they can do in a meaningful situation.
You go back at all to that Southern Miss game as a focal point for the guys to say, this is what you don't want to do as far as like getting excited.
Coach addressed it. Yep, Coach addressed it. I don't, because he addressed the whole team, so we're in good shape there. He made it pretty clear, and the people that were here, they understood it.
And you've talked a lot about his football IQ, his intelligence. Was that something that was evident when he got here, or has he developed that as he's become more comfortable?
Yeah, I really didn't know that. I really didn't know. I couldn't say that I found that out on his visit or anything like that. He was in tune though when he was there. He was locked in, and showed him some of the things that we might be able to do with him. But as we've evolved and he's evolved, we've got him all over the place. And so I did not expect that, but it sure is a bonus for a guy like that can touch the ball, and you can create a lot of different scenarios for him.
Okay, folks.